Fala pessoal, mais uma vez, eu sou o Rafael, aqui da Rafi Education Center. A gente vai fazer esse vídeo para ajudar a melhorar a conversação de todo mundo. Mais uma vez, quem é iniciante é muito bem-vindo de assistir o vídeo, mas o foco aqui é o aluno um pouco mais avançado para a conversação, ok? Não esqueça que você pode mudar a velocidade do vídeo, ligar a legenda, usar as técnicas, as ferramentas do YouTube aí para te ajudar a estudar, okay? So let's get started. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about neurosales. Neuro from neurological and sales from vendas, okay? So neurosales, and understand why we buy things or why we buy stuff. Eu usei bastante na aula a palavra stuff. É um pouco informal para dizer coisas, ok? Why we buy stuff, né? Por que a gente compra coisa, né? Essas coisas. So this lesson was really interesting. I love these kinds of lessons where it's really clear how we can see it in real life, in everyday life, day-to-day basis, in our interactions with other people or with the world. And I also love when we connect that with science, especially neurological science. It's extra interesting to talk about it and to have this kind of classes and conversation with people. Okay? So for us to get started é para começar, né? Para dar início, né? To get started. For us to get started, I would like to read the text to introduce what is exactly neurosales, superficially speaking, of course. Superficialmente, né? Superficially speaking, of course. Claro, claro, né? Let's go. So, neurosales is a technique that uses information from neuroscience and psychology to understand consumer behavior and decision making. Companies study the brain's response to products' names, colors, prices, and other features to influence or manipulate the buyer. Okay? So we have interesting words here. First, psychology. Queria lembrar ao pessoal, essas palavras que começam com um P e depois um S, elas são muito comuns no inglês. Por exemplo, psychology, ok? O P ele vai ser mudo pra gente, tá certo? A gente vai dizer psychology. A gente chama de silent P, né? Um P silencioso. Silent P a gente chama de P mudo, né? No português. So, psychology. Behavior, comportamento, outra palavra muito importante que o pessoal sempre me pergunta em aula, né? Consumer behavior. So basically, the companies, they test the products, they test the names of the products, they test the label, o rótulo, they tested the colors, the different fonts, né? As fontes, and how to advertise it, né? Como fazer a propaganda, how to advertise that product, and also the price. They tested, and nowadays these tests can get really technical, really detailed. We have machines, exams, medicine has been developing a lot of ways to analyze humans. Okay, so they are actually understanding, being able to track, né? Conseguindo rastrear. So they're being able to track how electricity is moving through our bodies on the moment that we are interacting with a specific product, which is amazing. I wanna read a little bit about this with you guys, a little bit about this, um pouquinho sobre isso. I wanna read a little bit about this. What do they study? So let's understand what companies study when they are analyzing our responses to their products. Let's go. So companies check which areas of the brain are activated, what emotions are triggered, where the eyes focus on, facial expressions, and how electricity is moving through the skin. This is crazy. It really is a complete scan of a person's reactions, allowing companies to adjust their marketing. Okay, so as we get better exams, not only for health, it's great to get these benefits for health. You know, you have now the implementation of AI in medicine, and I can't wait to see more and more results, more and more of this implementation. This is the pros. We have pros and cons. Now, os prós e os contras, the pros and cons. For health, this is amazing. We can identify diseases much sooner, much earlier, né? Bem mais cedo, né? Bem antes, much sooner, much earlier than before. We can rely on computers to analyze our exams or tests, and rather than rather than doctors. I believe that's better. We have already examples being published for us. So that is great, but also businesses can use that, companies can use that for profit, né? Para lucro, for profit. Companies can also use that. And then this is amazing, of course. It's very interesting how much information we can gather. Gather, G-A-T-H-E-R, gather é reunir, juntar, agrupar, né? Ou coletar, né? It's important to know this word. I think it's awesome. Acho que é ótima. So it's amazing to see how much information companies can gather through these tests. And now with the help of exams, machines, detectors, sensors that are normally applied on medicine, and of course are going to be used for profit as well. This is generally the case, okay? Whenever there's a revolutionary technology being developed, people say, oh no, just for health. This is to improve people's health, to improve people's quality of life, né? Para melhorar a saúde, para a qualidade de vida. It's always like this. So they get a bunch of money because it's for health, and then they develop a product, a machine, a technology, and then of course that technology also gets taken over by companies trying to make a profit. I don't know if that's okay or not. That's not for me to judge right now. So that's really amazing. So we have actually no choice. We are reacting and having reactions in our bodies. Our bodies are responding to these products in a way that we can even detect. I don't know how electricity is moving through my skin, né? Como a eletricidade está se movendo pela minha pele. I don't know. But they have detectors, sensors that can detect that, and they know me better than myself. Okay. Right now, I'm remembering a book that I read from Yuval Noah Harari. What a difficult name, that guy. I love that guy. He wrote *Sapiens*, *Homo Deus*. And then 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, and now he wrote Nexus. I didn't read the last one, and I don't think I will. The feedback is not very positive on this one. Anyway, on that one, he says, companies will know people better than they know themselves, né? As empresas vão conhecer as pessoas melhor do que elas se conhecem. That makes total sense to me. They definitely gather all this information about how we use the internet. That's one. But also now they have facial ID, and they can identify changes in our mood, our reactions, if we're happy, angry, satisfied, unsatisfied, happy or sad. They can definitely identify cues, né? São dicas ou pequenas amostras, né? Some cues on our reactions, small muscle contractions that we have no idea we're actually doing. But they have these cameras, detectors, and sensors, and they can know us better than we know ourselves, okay? So I asked a question here for my students if they think neurosales is morally okay, if that's something right, something okay for companies to do. And in this situation, this answer, I got two different answers. I got people saying, no, they can't do that. They are getting information from me that I'm not really giving them. So they are extracting things from me that maybe I don't want to give them, né? Talvez eu não queira dar isso para eles, né? Maybe I don't want to give them that information. And I don't even know. I couldn't, né? Eu não conseguiria, eu não poderia. I couldn't give them that information because I don't have the detectors and sensors they have. And they feel manipulated. They feel like these companies are adjusting their marketing to manipulate us. And maybe they can make us buy something we don't want or we don't need. They really manipulate us. Other people say no. They say, look, this is an information that they need, that is valuable, valorosa, né? Valuable, because then they can connect you to a product that you really need, that really will make a difference in your life, that really will make your life better. But maybe you don't know about. Maybe you need some convincing to actually adhere, que é aderir, adhere to that product into your life, that it's actually going to be a positive thing. So it was interesting to see, like everything in life, pros and cons, né? Os prós e os contras, like everything in life, pros and cons. So it was interesting to see if people, how people approach this information. I had another question from my students in the lesson, in the class, was, do you have a buying wish today? Que é desejo de compra. Do you have a buying wish today, right now? Which is interesting to see. Maybe we don't have a wish, like, oh, I really want to buy this thing. But if we stop to think about it, you will remember products that you saw somebody using or you saw a commercial of. And then if you think about it, then you say, hey, you know what? I want to buy that. But if that answer, se essa resposta, if that answer doesn't come instinctively, né, instintivamente, instinctively, if it doesn't come, né, se não vem instintivamente, if it doesn't come instinctively, probably you don't really wish it, you don't really need it, or you don't really want it. Okay, but it was interesting to listen to these people saying about different things. It's normally traditional, like cell phones, cameras. Some people have like a trip that they want to do. New versions of the things they have today. So I have this great cell phone, but I want the new one. I have this great computer, but I want a new one. And I have this great watch, but I want the new one, né? Mas eu quero o novo, né? O inglês tem isso de colocar esse one no final da frase. A gente não tem isso no português, né? É como se fosse a tradução, né? Eu tenho esse celular, mas eu quero o novo. E no inglês a gente põe a palavra no final, né? I have this phone, but I want the new one. Né? Então, caso você ouça, não estranhe, normal, é muito comum usar, inclusive bem legal de incorporar. Very cool to incorporate in our conversation, okay? So anyway, we have this wish. I think we are pressured, and social media is a big part of this. We go on social media and people are experiencing amazing, great new things, great new products, and they are very cool, they are very beautiful. The ads, os anúncios, né? The advertisements, né? As propagandas, the ads are great to promote them and to make us really wish these things. So it's amazing how we can easily be manipulated just by seeing someone with something and then saying, oh, I think I need that. We don't really need it. And then another section of the class, I talked about relationships, okay? Let me read this text for you guys. I think it's an interesting text. Let me read. Considering the clothes we wear. Wear é usar no sentido de vestir, a gente usa bastante para roupas, né? Considering the clothes we wear, the makeup we put on, the way we tell a story, or the words we use to talk to people. We also use a kind of neurosales in our relationships with the people around us. So you and I, when we are talking to different people in different moments of the day, we also adapt the vocabulary, the tone of voice. We also put different clothes to go to different places and to meet different people. This is because we want to influence or to manipulate the people's opinions about us. Okay, so we also use a kind of neurosales, again, instinctively, né? Meio que instintivamente, né? We adapt. We want to. Well, we want people to like us. Now I remember another book. The name of the book is The Status Game, or The Status Game, né? O jogo do status, né? It's a great book that talks about how humans evolved or developed their society, our civilization, based on the relationship between people. And the opinion the other people have about you, it means a great deal. It means a great deal. Significa muito. Essa é uma expressão legal do inglês, né? It means a great deal, né? So we play a status game. Like the status is what people think about you. How does your tribe see you, né? Como que sua tribo te vê, né? Thinking about centuries ago, séculos atrás, centuries ago. So it was very interesting to talk about neurosales, show people what it is, and then we only talk about products and companies and buying and selling, if it's morally okay, and then I say, hey, you know what? We use it too. We use it on the relationships we have with other people, and it's a very different thing, but we also use it every day in our lives. So it was very interesting to do that. Like I said, né, como eu disse, como eu disse, I love these kinds of lessons that they touch on basic everyday aspects of life, things that we can really touch and grasp. Grasp é pegar mesmo. To grasp in our everyday life. It's very easy to see that I love these kinds of lessons. I loved having this lesson here. It was amazing. That's it, guys. Don't forget, if you're studying English with these videos, make sure fixe, né? Make sure you share that with other people that are also trying to develop their English. If you're a leader at your work, or if you have a peer, parceiro, par, né? Who's also trying to develop their English, make sure you share that with them. I think it's a great deal of help. Okay, thank you guys very much for giving me your attention and your time. I hope you enjoyed it and you developed your conversation. Make sure you're repeating these words or these expressions out loud, in voz alta, because it really helps. It helps very much to repeat things out loud for you to dominate and incorporate in your vocabulary. But for this one, that is it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the next. Okay, bye bye.